This is, I should be writing season 20, episode 32, and it's going to be explicit, so just hang up now if you don't want to hear it.
Well, I should be writing. I should be working on my craft. I should be writing. I should be submitting my next draft. But I'm sitting home watching Doctor Who.
Okay, what the fuck, Valerie? This is I Should Be Writing, and for many, many years, not every year, but for many, many years of the last 20, I spent November recording for my supporters and recording for my audience at large. I don't know if I ever actually hit 30 episodes in a month, but I got like almost daily going. And it was fun. It was stressful, but it was fun. And you were a municipal liaison for NaNoWriMo for 17 years, so you definitely are used to doing something else than sitting on a meet call and having your friends swear at you on November 1st. So we're going to do this special Nano WTFmo, talk about... I just wanted to talk to you because you're informed and smarter than me, and I wanted to talk about it with the ability to swear. So Evil Mur is here, and we got an explicit tag for this episode. Anyway, we do stream live on Twitch, usually Thursdays, 3 p.m. Eastern, at twitch.tv/MightyMur. And in the chat, Underpope has questions for Evil Mur. Put them in the chat, and I will get to there. And Valerie, you talk for a little bit.
So, NaNoWriMo. Well, one thing that I have notes about is alternatives to NaNoWriMo so that you don't ever have to look at them again if you don't want to. And I think that's awesome. Because so many of us have been doing something, some sort of large creative project every November, and we don't want to let go of that. Some people have. For some people, the healing process involves not doing anything this November, sort of having a fallow period and grieving and whatever other stuff you need to do, day drinking as previously noted. Just whatever it is that you personally need to do. Some people have decided, well, now that I'm free of the confines of November, I'm going to do something in a different month instead.
Really?
And so, yeah. So our local group, actually, our Atlanta group, we defected. We are no longer Nano affiliated, and we are doing stuff this month. It's not that we're not doing anything, and a lot of people are showing back up again who haven't been in our Discord in a while to be like, hey, what's going on? What kind of things are we doing? But collectively, the folks who tend to linger throughout the rest of the year decided that January is when they feel like doing stuff. So they're going to start
and all that.
Exactly. And that actually is an event that some folks are hosting, whose name I forgot to write down, unfortunately, but I think it is something like Fresh Start Drafts or something like that. And so that's an option. That is a thing. Keep an eye out on social media for people who are starting their new drafts in January. We were calling ours Jamuary, I think, because it's like a writing jam. I don't know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it was fun. But lots of people are doing lots of different things. And because of that, you are spoiled for choice, frankly. Your local Nano group, for example, may be still doing stuff, whether it be still Nano affiliated or not. If they are Nano affiliated, you can decide you do or don't want to continue with your local group.
But I'm sorry. Can we get to the very productive stuff?
Sure.
There's still one more rant to do. I am naive. I'll just go ahead and say it. And it's like, when NaNoWriMo started imploding, I figured that they would do things their way that would make a lot of people unhappy, but they would do something.
Right.
Like, something.
Yeah.
Gloss over all the shit, pretend it didn't happen, whatever. But they do something. Right. And like a couple of days ago, I looked on the site and nothing was there. I mean, rather, it's just like the usual off-month NaNoWriMo stuff. The store is even empty.
Right.
And I went there today, and even today, some stupid part of my brain is just like, oh, they'll have something going. This is their thing. It's November. They'll have something.
Yeah.
Nothing. They've changed nothing about the site.
Yeah.
But you can still donate.
Of course.
So I'm just like, for some reason that makes me angry, because for the longest time they're like, we're not listening to you. You suck. We're gonna ban you if you even question our methods. But that implies they had a method. That implies they were going somewhere, even if it was a shit path. It was a path. I think I trusted them to take that shit path, and they didn't. They didn't take any paths. They just like pulled up the lawn chair and sat down with their beer. So that's what makes me mad. They're not even trying now.
Yeah.
So
Go
on. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So some insight into that. For those who don't know, NaNoWriMo at this point has basically 3 employees. The interim director, the former social media intern, who I think may at some point have been promoted to like director of social media or some such lofty title, and the web person, who is basically just web tech support type stuff and trying to make things run properly.
But nothing's running. There's nothing to run.
Yeah, I mean, in past years, the site has broken on November 1st very routinely, honestly. I have definitely had that experience of being unable to load up the site, unable to log in, unable to do things. And so we don't want to oversell the notion that that's never happened before, because it had. But usually it's a fact of high traffic, where this time it seems almost more like it's just the thing's broken.
Yeah. I mean, even if the site is broken, you're still going to see, this is our 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
We're going to do something special for it. Here, but here is the NaNoWriMo swag and artistic theme for 2024. You're going to see, here's the stuff left over from 2023 that we haven't sold that you can buy.
Yes. So they have moved.
There.
No, they've moved to a print-on-demand system for all of the merch that they have at great expense and at the last minute thrown up on the store, of which there now is some stuff there.
There is stuff on the store. There wasn't earlier.
There is stuff on the store now, I believe, unless they've taken it down, which that would be a whole other thing. But last that I heard, there are like some mug and t-shirt and sticker options, but they're all POD, print-on-demand stuff. And it certainly is a far cry from once upon a time when there would be, municipal liaison sticker packs that would get sent out, and then you would get free stickers from your local ML. There would be posters, there would be winners shirts. All of these things don't exist because they haven't made them. And
I'm going to NaNoWriMo.org or store.NaNoWriMo.org. And I'm seeing nothing. Is there another place?
I think because they've set up a secondary store through whatever POD website that they're using, and that's the only one that you can find the merch on.
Which doesn't have a link anywhere.
No.
Okay.
Well, again, cool. This is cue nervous laughter. Because everything is extremely disorganized, and part of what seems to be, and so I'm going to try to be really careful about separating like speculation from what I actually know, because there's, what do we know versus what are we guessing is happening behind the scenes. And speculation wise, it appears the interim director doesn't actually know all of the stuff that happens during Nano.
Guess what? You start on November 1st. She should call me.
But, once upon a time, there were various staff members who were tasked with doing all of these different things. And now there's nobody. So that one director person has to pick up all of the slack, basically. And she doesn't know what she's picking up. She never appeared to actually understand what a municipal liaison was or did. So part of the municipal liaison controversy was that we were all going to be required to submit to background checks through like some third party thing where it was unclear whether our data would be safe and also whether we'd have to pay for it ourselves. They kept insisting that no, we wouldn't, but we kept insisting that they don't have a budget for it. So what are they talking about? Again, among other variety of things. But their solution now to the lack of municipal liaisons creating events for people to do locally is to simply have it be a free-for-all where anybody can create events whenever and wherever they want, and they're not vetted in any way.
Mm-hmm.
So we've gone from we're going to background check everybody to do whatever you want, no rules, just right. So it's a lot. It's a lot to watch. It's a lot to, but ultimately there aren't a lot of events getting posted because nobody is doing the thing. People are not logging into the website. People are not taking, like, the ones who are still invested in doing the thing are usually doing it through third parties like Discord or whatever. And yeah, so that's happening.
Well,
but yeah, no. Go ahead.
I did a Google search for NaNoWriMo's store. The first one is the one I was on where it says there's nothing here. And the second one actually leads to Fourth Wall store, which I guess is another POD store.
Yeah,
and it
on.
does have some very basic things. You can get a stainless steel water bottle with the 25th anniversary.
That sounds like the thing. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm going back through my notes to try to find the link.
Oh, yeah, this is all basic POD
Yeah, it's
stuff.
Fourth Wall. Yep, NaNoWriMo-shop.fourthwall.com.
Okay, so they are limping along.
They're
crawling along. I don't know.
Yeah, and again, no winter shirts.
No, yeah, nothing. Yeah, no winter shirts.
No ML stickers because there are no MLs. And that was another thing that was very frustrating, is that they kept insisting, no, we there are MLs. We're just going through the vetting process and doing this and doing that. It's like, no, you're not though. Yeah. You're not. And there aren't any MLs. And anytime that someone pointed out that there were no MLs, because they had all been essentially de-authorized from being MLs on the website, they just like on the Nano site, everyone's powers of ML ship were removed, and we all had to like pre-sign a pledge to do whatever they told us to do without knowing what they were going to tell us to do.
There's something about you guys weren't allowed to talk to each other.
It was the most poorly written contract because yes, basically it was like, if you read the actual words being used on this page, MLs are not allowed to talk to each other. Mm-hmm. Which what?
And you can only use English, right?
Yeah. No, it was a whole lot of garbage.
Yes, no joy, as Puck would say. Puck's dad would have said, yes.
Yep. And then there was a 3-hour-long call with municipal liaisons attempting to explain to the interim director all of the issues that the contract had. And she kind of initially went in very like bombastic, very, no, we're going to do this. It's going to be great. Everything's fine. Everything's cool. We're good. And then over the course of the call, it just kind of deteriorated. And now has just uniformly, every time that she is engaging with even the slightest hint of criticism, proceeds to block people, ban people, delete comments, cite community moderation rules that apparently outlaw any criticism whatsoever, and a criticism or negativity, I guess. It's basically just this extreme, horrifying fascist state now in the Facebook and other places. And of course, there are no forums, so it's not like
we're a big part of NaNoWriMo.
Yep. Nope. That's gone. So, huzzah. Yeah. It's basically they were trying to get rid of like third party stuff. So we weren't supposed to use Discord anymore. We were only supposed to use the forums, but then they got rid of the forums. So that was fun. It's gone through different iterations of what the effery, and
so what was the problem with third party? They couldn't control them.
That they couldn't control them, essentially, yeah. And I mean, so what I think what's possibly most frustrating about all of this is that the initial problems were very real problems, and some of the solutions to the initial problems had the potential to be correct solutions, but they were just being implemented very badly. For those who are not aware of the initial NaNoWriMo controversies, the TLDR is that one of the forum designers, essentially, like someone who was very involved in the back end of maintaining the forums, was grooming young writers.
Shit, I didn't know they were that close to the forum code.
Yeah, and this is why they were not immediately yeeted, because it was like, well, if we get rid of her, then we're going to have all sorts of problems with being able to like maintain stuff and keep things running properly. And it's hard to even just like completely get rid of her because she's got sock puppet accounts that we don't necessarily know about and backdoors. And it was a whole giant mess.
Yeah.
And then she died. So, that happened. I know. And the thing is, everyone knew she was dying, and so it unfortunately optics there that Nano HQ was just like, well, if we wait long enough, this problem will solve itself. Which is really bad also. So where's that vodka?
Vodka's downstairs. It's too far away. I don't know.
So yeah, that happened. It's just a series of, well, that happened over and over and over again.
I'm going to be putting on some more facial hair. That's all I can think to do in this situation. Just a little bit right there.
There you go. It's looking good. Looking good, Mur. A little more devilish. I like it.
Yeah.
The soul patch is very you.
It is very me. I am so soulful. I said shit. Wow.
That is a soul patch, right? I'm not
think I know. Come on.
I don't know.
But
yeah.
The thing I've been trying to do for a while is come up with alternatives. And I know a lot of people have come up with a lot of alternatives, which is kind of sad because that means everybody's going to go off into a direction that they want to go, and that's not always going to be the same.
Yes.
But of course, I suppose that's like life. You got to leave some places and come back and start new communities. And it's like we're all going to graduating from college and going our separate ways, and it's the end of our sitcom. But you and your local people are doing your own thing, right?
Yeah, we are doing our own thing.
You're waiting for January. You said that. Sorry.
Yeah, and I mean, but some of us are doing something. Like I'm running a write-in tonight. I ran one last night at midnight. We did a midnight kickoff, and a bunch of us were there writing at midnight.
You have 2 children and a day job and books to write. How? How did you do a midnight write-in?
I only stayed for an hour, and then I was like, I have to go to bed. So that's what happened. And I have a wonderful, supportive husband who does a lot of things. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
You seem superhuman to me, Valerie.
Nope. I'm like Thoreau in the woods. My mom keeps coming to do my laundry. My sister brings me lunch.
Yeah.
The perception is a lot more than the reality of it. But that said, a lot of, like I said, the sort of local groups have divested and formed their own events, whatever those may be. They may have their own individual names for them. They may be kind of glomming on to an existing event. It definitely just depends. And so if you were already participating in the local region, then that's one place that you can start, is just what are your people, doing? Were you already in their Discord? Were you only following them on social media, in the forums somewhere? Just see if you can find them, see if you can seek them out. Local libraries are often hosting NaNoWriMo events that can help put you in touch with those people as well. Though I found that sometimes the libraries themselves are just hosting their own kind of things exclusive of Nano or the MLs or whatever, but that's still community. That's still finding people that are doing the thing in your area and getting together with them and having a good time. And something like a library is going to be better than going to someone's house or whatever shady thing that could end up getting posted. There was this whole series of like MLM type things that were getting deployed in events across the country last year that was fascinating to watch, where it's like come and see
marketing.
Yeah, it was like, come and see this presentation about NaNoWriMo and how you can succeed at NaNoWriMo and blah, blah. Come to this hotel on this day or join virtually or whatever. And it was a whole scam ass thing that was happening that finally, because MLs were allowed to talk to each other at the time, we were able to compare notes and be like, hey, wait a minute, this is a scam. And then we just took all that stuff down. Any of us who fell prey to, oh, okay, that sounds like a cool event, and then found out, wait a minute, no, it's not. It's fake.
Yeah.
Oh, fake. Yeah, unlike the kids, Valerie does not sleep. It's true. My sleep at this point is just a series of naps. I wake up at 4 a.m. every day to feed the cat. And so it's just, and then at 7 to feed the kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
and then I nap later.
do something brave and forward thinking now. We've got an ad starting in 50 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can start that ad, or we'll just BRB. Go get some water, take your meds, get a snack. Get one for me. I've not
Posture check.
Let's see if that works.
Where else will I sell my Tupperware and candles? I don't know, because that doesn't work on like eBay or something, right? I guess I'll vamp about multi-level marketing while the ad happens.
I don't think you can do MLMs on eBay.
I don't think so either. It just doesn't. It doesn't hit the same, because for that kind of stuff, you need to lean on someone in person. I feel like you need to exert the force of your personality on them. That's how those work. You get guilted through proximity or something.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back through chat for you. I wasn't aware of the depth of the issue. I know. They've been obfuscating it a lot. There are different websites where you can read the sort of long form explanations of everything that has happened. Some websites have more details than others. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the link for the one that has collected sort of most of the stuff. And
I think I have it in a show note somewhere. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I think so too, because I feel like I've shared it previously.
Yeah, you put it in the Discord.
So exactly. Yep. You can't grease someone into your downline on eBay. You can just sell things, and that's not how you make money in a pyramid scheme. True. Exactly. But yeah, the nano stuff has just been profound and ongoing, and anyone who questions anything going on there essentially gets shut down, comment deleted, go away, never come back. And that's not how you keep an organization going, by telling everyone.
But see, another thing that gets me is they have a board. They're a charity.
I don't know where the board is. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know where they are. I don't know what's happening with them. That's a big blank hole in my knowledge, where I'm just like, where are all of you? What is the deal? Yeah, that's a bold growth strategy, Cotton. Let's see how that works out for them. I don't think it's gonna work out at all. And I think what frustrates me the very most about everything that's happening is that all of it was ostensibly fixable if they had proceeded in a sort of humble and let's work together to fix this kind of way. And instead they got defensive, they got condescending. And I say it's basically the interim director. It's basically her personally going after people who have anything negative to say about Nano. And it's that this is not a thing where ego can rule the day. That's not how any of this works. After the grooming stuff came out, I was one of the people being like, okay, I don't know how much they knew. I don't know what they knew when. I don't know what they've been doing behind the scenes. So let's hold on, and see what happens and see how they respond to it. And the way that they responded was basically, she died, it's over, don't worry about it. I was like, are you kidding me? And again,
they had her killed, didn't they?
No, she had some sort of chronic illness type thing that was, anyway. And apparently she'd previously faked her death. So even that was like, people were not sure whether it was real. It's a lot.
You know what? You should be allowed a certain level of drama to create in your life. And I think she stole someone else's drama.
She was hoarding. She's a drama hoarder. She just took it from a lot of other people. I don't know. This season of reality has just been going off the rails in a lot of ways. So why not Nano too? Yeah, but yeah. That's all. I feel like in some ways, even I know people that are still kind of keeping up with all of the latest developments, and I'm one of them, but I know people that are still kind of angrily lashing out and finding ways to, get on Reddit and complain, or sneakily poke the bear on Facebook and in other places. And I'm just kind of ready to let go. I'm definitely, for all that I'm sort of keeping my finger on the pulse of what they're still doing so that I can answer questions that people have mostly. I'm just like, I don't want to engage with any of their crap anymore. It's over. It's done. I'm sad. I'm sad and I'm moving on, and it is what it is, like,
Yeah.
What a friggin' bummer.
Thank you for the resub, Daniel.
It was more, we're pretty sure she died, so problem solved. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it still didn't solve all the fundamental underlying problems, which was, again,
if you leave the door open and the horse gets out, then you find out the horse is dead, and you're like, oh, okay, well, that won't happen again.
Well,
We can leave the door open. It's fine. The horse that got out died. So, we're good.
And then the fox gets into the hen house, and you're like, oh, shocked Pikachu face. How did that happen? You left the door open.
Yeah. We left the door open and everything.
It is to scream, but
I admire you for being able to do that. I was not as close to NaNoWriMo, and I don't think I'm doing that very well. I do like the fact that people are coming up with new things, but as I said, the community as a whole gets fractured and has to build new community, which is fine, something we all should learn to do in our lives.
Yeah.
But it's still sad. I was thinking about the end of Blaseball. Like, a couple of people have tried to bring out their own Blaseball, and it has not gotten, neither has gotten the same traction because it's not the same. So, and you're not going to have the same people looking at it. So the community's going to be different, and I believe they call it catching lightning in a bottle. I'm enjoying For the Words. That's where I'm going to be doing most of my writing this month.
Yep. All right, so let's dive in, because I got a list.
Positive stuff. I'm gonna take these things off because they tickle my nose, dudes. I don't know how you do it.
So here, let us begin. So some nano alternatives. Yeah, magic is often hard to replicate. Exactly, Daniel. So the one that I've been pointing most people to, just because my circles tend to be speculative fiction ones, is Dream Foundry. So Dream Foundry is doing their annual Freefall challenge, which they have been doing for a few years now. It has more or less always been in November, because they have been sort of just aligning with NaNoWriMo as a thing. But the Freefall challenge that Dream Foundry does, is not restricted to writers. It's basically just bring a big project that you want to do during the month of November, and we're all going to do the thing together. And so they have a sign-up form that you can sign up to, state your project, do your progress reports in the Discord, and you can do novel writing, you can do short story writing, you can write poetry, you can do artwork, you can write music. It's just what is a big, cool, scary project. The spirit of NaNoWriMo originally was that, basically. We're going to do something big and bold and
show you what you're capable of.
To show you what you're capable of. And also, I think part of the underlying thing was something potentially that you said for years, I want to do this thing, and that you never have. And it was intended as a time and a place for you to do that thing. And so that is what Dream Foundry has done. They have provided you a time and a place. They also have a spring event. So speculative fiction folks and anyone who does sort of imaginative artwork, I would say, again, songs, poetry, whatever it may be, head over to Dream Foundry. And I think that is a great community. They have a lot of other stuff going on year round. They, of course, have the Flights of Foundry convention every year. And it's just a great community of people, very supportive, very cool folks. I send almost everybody there just as a rule.
Mm-hmm. You've been doing stuff with them since the beginning, haven't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because once they started the virtual convention, it was kind of like, oh, here is a thing that I can participate in. Because first of all, I'm broke and I can't travel to a lot of conventions. My last convention was it was actually New York Comic Con in 2019. Was it New York Comic Con? It was either that or the Dublin Worldcon. And that was stuff that like we had pre-planned going for a long time. And frankly, my mom helped me pay for it. See, Thoreau in the cabin. So, because, well, I won't get into it. Anyway, so Flight to Foundry being virtual, being international, so they have stuff going in all time zones, meaning if you're on the other side of the world and you show up, there's something for you to see. I think that's super important and super good, and I love to support it. So
instead of, going back into the turtle shell of English only.
Yep. Where it's like, here's a bunch of stuff that happens basically in 3 time zones, and then everyone else has to just kind of work around it. It's like that's not good. That's not how anything should be. So let's not. And so yeah, Dream Foundry, they're very good about putting stuff at all time zones, and it's not necessarily as much stuff simply because it's based on who is available and who they can get on panels and doing things. But yeah, they make a really really strong effort, and I think that's awesome. They also run Con or Bust, which is a charity that helps send underprivileged folks who don't have money, like me technically, but I usually, like I said, I leave that for other folks to do, and I stick with virtual. But you can donate to them, and they pay for people to go to conventions, like in person. So Con or Bust is, my computer decided it was going to go night-night. Because I wasn't touching the track.
I'll check out Con or Bust.
Yep. So, Dream Foundry. That's my number one alternative. Go forth. Enjoy. Other ones. So, World Anvil is a world building like wiki site that does all sorts of, not just events, but like they have a Twitch stream. They do lots of interviews. They do how-to videos on a variety of things. So World Anvil is a pretty robust site that is ostensibly for use in building worlds and creating kind of like story Bibles and stuff that you can share with other people. But World Anvil has kind of evolved over time to become more than that. It was primarily initially used for people who were role-playing, especially tabletop. But now people use it for all of their writing projects, and some people use it as their actual like websites even at this point, to allow folks that are checking that out to kind of see the entirety of their projects that they're working on in terms of fiction. But so every year they have World Ember, which is a series of events to create a world using their website and their tools. They also have Novel Ember, which is basically NaNoWriMo. So World Anvil has a free tier that you can subscribe to. The thing about the free tier to keep in mind is I don't know all of the limitations of it, but what I do know is that everything that you create is public. And so that can potentially be problematic in terms of you wanting to sell it later. I think a lot of indie writers use it, and again, a lot of like TTRPG folks. And so their stuff being public is not necessarily as big a deal. But if you want to pay for an account, then you can make your stuff private and not have to share it. But I think a lot of the purpose of the World Anvil events is to make public stuff, because they also have contests where you get votes on different articles that you create, and the winner will get different cool things. I think at one point somebody won like a cruise. Actually, it was pretty hardcore.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of neat stuff happening with World Anvil that you can definitely check out. And if you follow them on Twitch, again, they have pretty regular streams. They interview writers all the time, TTRPG designers, filmmakers, I think even. And they have a lot of kind of like how to and what are videos type stuff. Like, let's talk about what is romantasy, for example, or what is steampunk, or, just various things like that. And all sorts of other writing how to type stuff that you can check out. So World Anvil, that's another option. Speaking of Twitch events, Game of Tomes is a sort of heavy into role-playing kind of event that is a competitive thing in which you join a particular house And then the idea is that your word count goes towards a kind of overall house word count, and then all the houses are competing against each other, and one house will defeat the rest of them to win the tome. And so that's the kind of fun one. You write it with people like participating streams up. You submit your word counts on those streams, and then again, yeah, it's just basically a competitive thing. They have a lot of different that I think is sort of hosted through World Anvil, so you can find stuff about that there.
What was that called again?
Game of Tomes.
Game
I
of
think
Tomes.
I have a link somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. I like how
it's worldanvil.com/game-of-tomes.
Yep, that sounds right. So yeah, definitely check that out. Again, it's that can be kind of role-playing type stuff, because you are picking a house based on like your own writer characteristics. So a little bit of writer astrology / self-identifying type fun there. And then you just start cheering for your house to win, kind of deal. So that's fun. I have been participating in that for a while, and so I've been to Game of Tomes reporting stream for a few years. I don't know if I am this year, only because I've been so stressed out and backed up on like lots of stuff that I don't think I've done all the necessary prep work to be a participating stream. But that's on me, not on them. They're doing all their thing, and it's all going off without me, or with me if I can get my act together. Maybe we'll see how it goes. So other stuff, the Global Write-In Crawl, which is actually ongoing right now. GWIC is the acronym for that, and let me see if I can find the website for that again. It looks like.
Well, you talk. I'm looking stuff up online.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll keep talking then. But yeah, that one is basically like a series of discords that you kind of travel between, and then you write in the discord with other people, and then you keep going to the next one. And so that is another kind of fun event. So that's more of a limited event, I think. I want to say it starts at the beginning of November and goes for a few days, as opposed to being the entire month of November. But what it does is it takes you through a bunch of different discords that then you can be sort of member of those discords and continue to do fun and cool stuff through them. So that can be fun. Just show you a lot of different places to be. Similarly, the 100 Hours of Writing is a Twitch event. Oh How, as it's called. And that one is basically show up at the first stream or any of the streams along the way, and they are going to be hosting write-ins essentially on Twitch ongoing for 100 hours straight. And you can just raid from one to the next to the next to the next, and write as much as you want. They also have a Discord that you can join, so that if you get lost at some point, you can come back and rejoin. And that, again, is only 100 hours, so a few days long, basically. But that will allow you to join a bunch of different Twitch channels of people who tend to regularly stream co-working stuff, so that you can keep going with that. And if you're in the Discord, then those co-working streams are going to be posted every time that person goes live, basically. Plus, it's a kind of community in Discord all of its own. So definitely you can check that out. Some more that I have less information about, so I'm going to go over them a little more quickly. There is Rogue Writers, which is roguewriters.net. There is the Rough Draft Challenge that I believe a romance writer is hosting on TikTok. I don't know too much about that, but I saw that mentioned. There is NowNoWriMo.org. That is its own thing. Novel Gauntlet is another one. And WriNow is, so WRINOW is a website that allows local writing groups to post their information so that you can search through and find something in your area. And that one I do have the website link for, so I'm going to drop that in the chat. That's WriNow. And that's what I've got for alternatives in terms of like full-on events. But I also have other stuff. So for example, a few Discords that you can potentially join beyond your local Nano Group's Discord. There is the Writers Coffee House, which is formerly just the LA, like Los Angeles NaNoWriMo Discord, but expanded to become sort of a welcoming place for people all over the world. And they run a ton of different things throughout November as well as throughout the year. So if you want to continue writing past November, definitely you can check them out. That's the Writers Coffee House. Another Discord is We Write at Dawn, another kind of robust group, skews a little younger, so just keep that in mind when you join up. And then we have the Writers Troop. They have a very robust Facebook presence that I don't Facebook anymore, really, so I'm not participating in that, but they also have a Discord, and they are doing something called Writing Hard All Month, aka WHAM. And I think that's a great acronym.
That's a good one.
Yep. So those are some additional Discords to recommend. Then, if you're on Twitch, they finally created a category, writing and reading. So,
really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Alas, we've been waiting forever and ever. People have been petitioning them and using. I know. The writers category, which is an actual game, was used for a long time. Some people started using like Spirit City Lo-Fi or whatever, just chatting, and so it was very much a kind of toss-up to be able to find stuff on Twitch. You either kind of had to stumble across it and then hope they kept raiding into people that you could get on board with, or you made kind of a conscious effort to try to search for co-working streams. But the writing and reading category now exists. So does the co-working and studying category. So between those two categories on Twitch, you are likely to be able to find a lot of different writers who are running co-working streams and pick the ones that are most fun for you. Find the communities that kind of are your jam, and the people who are, playing the music that you want to hear. I have definitely noped out of a lot of different Twitch streams because the people actually say out loud what they're typing. And I'm like, I can't concentrate because you're speaking.
You mean like they're reading their own work as they're
typing it? Yeah.
Who does that?
No, like a surprising number of people. And I'm not saying that that's bad or wrong. I'm saying I can't with that.
No, it's
personal.
It's not. I'm puzzled. I'm just puzzled. And also why you would want to read that to your chat.
I don't even want to share my drafts with people, so that's
Yeah, today I was playing around with Twitch overlays to see if I could host some co-writing streams while not showing my screen. I think I'm probably going to run an idle game.
Yeah.
Or but I did work it out to where I can grab just the monster I'm fighting on forthewords.com.
Right. Yeah.
So I can show that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there's a lot of people have different ways to do it. There's some sort of like complicated how to blur your writing tutorial that you can find if you search for it online. To me, I just am like, I'm just going to use Pomo Farm and not show you my screen. The end. Done.
Let's talk about that. There's some really fun Pomodoro / idle games that can hopefully encourage you to stay on task. Rusty's Retirement, I'm a little bit up in the air about, because there are things you can be doing every once in a while, a little bit more often than you should be doing if you're actually trying to hyper focus on something. But there are let's see, there is Rusty's Retirement, which is lots of fun, and it's Mac and PC, which not a lot of them are, so I'm a fan of that just because of that. And then you mentioned Spirit City.
Spirit City Lo-Fi, Lo-Fi Sessions, I think. I can't remember the full title of that, but that is definitely a game. And there's another one, it's like Room. Hold on a second.
I've got a couple of them. Let me see.
Yeah, one second. I mean, there's Forest, obviously, but like Cozy Time is another one that I've seen. Virtual Cottage. That's the one that I was thinking
Yeah,
of.
that one. There's not enough going on in Virtual Cottage. I couldn't get
Yeah.
into it because
Yeah.
with Rusty's, you plant and it's a little bit of resource management in that you're planting and you're harvesting and you're selling
Yeah.
to biofuel. And then Spirit City is you attract spirits to you by doing different things. So it's like this person, when this spirit has been known to be around at night when it's raining, and so then you change your environment to nighttime, and then you've got ambient music or sounds you can play. So you play the raining, and that will eventually get the spirit to come to you. And there are lots of spirits to collect, and then you get money by leveling up, and then you can spend on different colors of spirits and clothes and your environment. So that's a lot of different awesome things. Chill Pulse, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. Yeah. Chill Pulse, Cozy Time. Yeah. There's a few different options out there. And I mean, you can just kind of get on Steam and poke around and, find something that appeals to you. And people are putting out new ones all the time. So it's also something that even if you don't see something you like right now, you can wait a little while and see if something new comes up.
Yeah, that's true.
And then there's ducks.
Right, remember you mentioned Pomo Farm, which I've played a lot of, but I haven't streamed a lot. So why don't you tell people what Pomo Farm is?
Yeah, so Pomo Farm is it's a farming simulator basically, and you have a little duck and you plant vegetables, and then you can set the timer for as long as you want. You can set your breaks for as long as you want. Every so many, working sessions, then you can have like a longer break set up. You don't have to. It's totally up to you. You have the control. You control the horizontal and the vertical. And that one you can unlock different plants to plant. You can unlock larger sections of the map. You can unlock automated planting and watering and things like that.
You want automated selling.
Yeah, automated selling.
As soon as you can plant clocks,
Yep.
you'll want automated selling because clocks may yield up to 24 fruits of clocks.
Yeah, and that one, you can I'm going to say you can beat it, quote unquote, fairly quickly, in which you kind of unlock all of the things, because of course it does eventually get sort of exponential where you're just making so much money that you have won the game essentially. But once that happens, you can actually reset and just start from the beginning again, which is kind of, I think that's neat that they let you do that. And it is definitely one way to manage the thing. What else? But yeah, Placid Plastic Duck Simulator, definitely another one that I've seen people using because that one is just kind of chilling there. Those are kind of the Pomo programs. The ducks I don't think actually have a timer in them, but it is just kind of a screensaver type thing that you can have available to you. So, but yeah, Spirit City Lo-Fi, Pomo Farm, Rusty's Retirement, Virtual Cottage, Chill Pulse, Cozy Time, all options. Not all of them, again, like you said, available for Mac, unfortunately, but definitely you can check them out. And then in terms of word tracking programs, so you already mentioned.
Can I mention one more? Pomo Farm or Pomo?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I found On Track, which is it looks like you're on a train.
Nice.
So you've got a little bit of a framing, and then you've got a window, and it doesn't seem very. Like, I would eventually want it to go through like hellscapes and fairyland, but that's just me. But it is pretty cheap or free or $1 or something. So if you want to try something easy that's an idle game, that's like something you can look up and see something pretty but won't distract you, and then you can look back down, it's called On Track, and you can find it on Steam for $1.
Mm-hmm. And again, there's always like stuff like Forest, but that one is basically a locks you out of your stuff program as opposed to more of a here's a thing.
It just shames you when you
yes. Yeah, no, it basically
it doesn't
like,
block you out of your stuff. It makes your tree die when you look at something else, and then you see a dead tree on your list of things you did today.
It warns you. It'll be like, "Are you sure you want to do this? Because your tree is going to die." And then I'll be like, "Oh no, I don't. I don't want my tree to die." Actually, I'm seeing another thing that someone is streaming literally right now called Melvor Idle. That I'm like, is that so? That's also an idle game apparently. that involves some kind of training type stuff, but I don't know anything about that. Looks like more maybe like a clicker style idle game as opposed to like a Pomodoro kind of game thing. So maybe not that one. But like, because some of these games, it's more like for streamers that want to have something on their screen while they're working, as opposed to an actual like timing thing that is going to be useful to you as a person by yourself kind of deal. So that said, for the words, Mur. For the words. Also definitely an option. Lets you have teams, doesn't it?
No, I don't think I've found any teams yet. I
Really?
was hoping they would.
Oh,
But
I was pretty sure because I've seen people definitely that they'll start up like a group thing and then post a code that people can join. So I think there's a way to do it.
I
I
think
don't know
that's
how.
great. I think you can all group together to fight a larger
That's
beast.
what, yeah, that's the thing that you can do. Okay. But that's cool. And so
Yeah,
that can give you kind of a group activity thing to do. So for the words, my understanding is that there is now a free tier.
there is a free tier.
Yes.
I was so impressed when I looked at this because that was the one thing that was holding me back from really endorsing it. They've they made it more expensive, but they added a free tier. And
Yeah.
so I think that's worth it because I like that anybody can play, and if you can support the site to make up for the people playing, then it's good for everybody. So
Yeah.
and all you miss out on is like some clothes and a number of files or projects that you can have going on. So there's 4 levels. There's free, and then there's like a basic, a premium, and then there's like if you want to get a lifetime membership at $600 one time, and you get like a lot of cosmetic stuff along with that. I'm not
That
quite
is
ready for that yet, but I
dollars.
did
Yeah.
get my
Wow.
subscription.
I mean, it's one of those things where kind of like Microsoft Word style, where it's like, how much would you pay to not have to do this again for a while? And I mean, ultimately, even with Microsoft Word, like even if you bought the version where it wasn't a subscription based thing, chances are you'd have to replace it every like 5 to 10 years anyways.
Yeah,
So yeah, yeah. So $600 for a lifetime,
you just got
unless
to
the
trust
website
that
goes belly up. Yeah,
it's going to be there for a
yeah.
lifetime. That's the
Yep.
downside.
Versus whatever the yearly cost of it is. It's like, is that $600 going to equal enough years that it makes sense to you? So yeah.
Right. But I am a fan of For the Words. The only downside I don't like is the fact that for some challenges you have to write in the browser, and if you don't have to write in the browser and you write in Scrivener, I'm gonna focus more on the writing than on the game, which
Yeah.
you're supposed to do. But I'm like,
Yes.
if you're 90% writing and 10% game, that keeps you going. Whereas if I go over to Scrivener, it's got to be 100% writing and then I'll fizzle out. So I'm still trying to figure out how to manage that. But I'm a fan. I love it. I love the fact that they've gone with a free version, and they've always got events going on. Always.
I have friends who bought lifetime accounts and live journals. So yeah.
Oh
Trixie.
man. Oh. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it is what it is. So other apps. One that most people that I know have been gravitating towards at this point is TrackBear. I know on your Discord, TrackBear, I think Firewriter created a TrackBear group for your patrons to join. So TrackBear lets you track projects and lets you do groups, which essentially is what Nano was all about. So TrackBear is free. Trackbear.app is the website. Definitely you can check that one out. Some other ones include WriteTrack, which I think is also free. Noveler, which is Novlr, no E in that. That one I don't think is free. I'm pretty sure you have to pay for that. Pacemaker is another one that I think
Love
is not
Pacemaker.
free. Yep. Pacemaker is neat because you give it the word count you're trying to reach, and it is like, here's what you can do, but it's more flexible than that. You can be like, well, I can't write on this day, and then it will recalculate it for you. Or, oh, I want to write extra on this day. Like, as I understand it, I've not played it. I've not used it myself, but it has that kind of flexibility where you can mess with it.
Yeah.
Not just having the 1667 to get to 50K, but very kind of granular, like this much for this day, this much for this day.
Yeah. And you can say, I want to write more on the weekends. I want to write less
Yeah.
on the weekends. I want to
Exactly.
write, I want to start slow and end strong. So it'll give you
Yeah, yeah.
fewer word count at the beginning, or I want to start strong because I got a lot of time now and end easy.
Mhm.
They've got I want to write the most in the middle, or
Yep.
I want to write the most at first and last parts of the month, and the middle will be a dip. It just shows you the graph of everything you
Uh-huh.
need in the time you need it, which is why I think it's so awesome. Because as somebody who would frequently get behind in NaNoWriMo or was looking at a couple of days that I could not be writing, I appreciated that I could get a new set of word count goals based on the
Yep.
pacemaker.
100%. So totally useful, totally flexible, definitely awesome. And then I always recommend Written Kitten, just because it shows you a kitten every so many words. That's it. There's nothing else that website does. It's just, I mean, there's more that it can do. And of course, you have other ones like Write or Die kind of stuff where you can get really scary, but any website that allows you to set it up to delete words if you stop typing, I feel like that's very sus, and I would not. I can't. Mm-mm.
Actually, For the Words has implemented something like that, but not deleting
No.
your words.
Yeah.
Some monsters are like you need to write X amount of words in Y amount of time. But
Yeah.
some of
Yeah.
them are you have to write constantly for this long. And
Right.
if you don't, you start losing hit points, and then the
Yeah.
monster wins. And I don't think the monster wins anything, but the monster doesn't drop any loot, and
Yeah.
you get shamed for being beaten by a sentient weeping willow. But I found that that's interestingly inspiring too,
Yeah.
because I wasn't worried about losing anything.
Exactly, exactly. Like that uses the structure for the words and
Yeah,
like their gamification type stuff to effectively do the thing without actually penalizing you by taking your words away from you,
yeah.
which I think is just terrible. Don't do that. No. No, 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 no. Okay, so that's all the programs that I have. But I have one more thing. One more
One
thing.
more thing.
As the uncle on the Jackie Chan show would say. Hashtags.
That's what that's from. Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's what I quote. That's where I'm quoting it
No,
from.
no, no. I
Jackie Chan
remembered that. I remembered that show.
and that character. One more thing. But I think he was actually quoting Columbo. So
Oh, I see.
I think it was an intentional Columbo homage. But whenever I'm doing it, I'm quoting Uncle.
Yeah.
Hashtags. So many of us have fled the ex Twitter site.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else who quotes the grandpa. High five. Yeah, uncle. Yeah. I think he is actually his grandpa, but he calls him uncle. I'm not even sure actually what the relationship is, but he's definitely called uncle. But anyway, so hashtags that are on Blue Sky specifically because I am not really on the site formerly known as Twitter anymore. First draft fall is one hashtag that people are using to track their progress. Novel Ember is specifically for the people that are participating in the World Anvil Novel Ember event. And then more just kind of general hashtags, because then you start to get into like NoNoWriMo and things like that. There are a lot of people still on the NaNoWriMo tag, so you can potentially find writers using that tag even if you yourself are not participating in NaNoWriMo, but I would feel weird using the tag personally. The clan rally formerly known as Twitter, for real.
Oh,
But 3 general tags that you can find, and I think they ported over from Twitter. So if you are still there and still participating, you can probably use these tags as well. Writing community is one. Am writing is another. And virtual writers is a third one. And through those tags, you are likely to come across other tags that may end up being useful to you. There's a like different kind of like first lines type things, or just daily writing prompts type stuff that people will be like, oh, search your manuscript for a section that has this word in it, kind of thing, and then post a picture of the section or whatever. So there's like a lot of different fun little Blue Sky things that you can participate in that you could probably find through the writing community, Am Writing, or virtual writers tag in some form or fashion. So yeah, definitely you're not alone. There's lots of people out here still writing. Even if NaNoWriMo implodes, they can't take your pen from you. or your keyboard or whatever. So do the thing.
Do the thing. Yeah. So does anybody have any questions for Valerie or Evil Mur or regular Mur, who is technically here because I took all the sticky stuff off my face, but there are co-op battles in For the Words. I'm reading about them now. So it's like you can start a room with up to 8 people and determine what monsters are in the room, and you all fight together. I think there also might be boss fights. I don't remember. I have not been on the site since about last November, so it's yeah, I got to get back on it. If you do get on For the Words, feel free to friend me. I'm easy to find. I'm still Mighty Mur. Big surprise there. Just for the people listening later, Beth, welcome Beth, says, could you repeat the name of the site or app that lets you plan out words per day? That is Pacemaker. So reminding people of that if you didn't write it down, it's a fantastic tool. And I should have all these in the show notes if I am a podcaster worth my medal.
I'm going to also give you my list so that it can help you kind of say just what did Valerie say? What did Valerie talk about?
Thank you. That's
I'll
very
put it in
kind
our
of you.
chat right now. Or I'll put it actually in your Discord so that everybody can see it. Haha. Everyone who is subscribed. I'm sticking it in the NaNoWriMo.
Do you would like to? I can't talk today.
What are words?
Terrible. If you would like to hang out on our Discord with other writers, such as Valerie and myself, and many of the people currently in chat, you can go to patreon.com/MightyMur and support and become a fabulist and be in the Fabulous Club. And really help keep my lights on. So thank you for that. All of you who do support now or are considering, or go ahead and do it. But you will get access to the Discord, which a lot of people says is the best benefit, because it's active but not overwhelming, and it's kind, and it talks a lot about movies, music, and a lot about writing. So commercial off.
It's a good Discord, Mur. You should say it.
It's made up by the people who were there. I had little to do with it. If we are not getting any more questions, I think I'm going to see if IntelliGame is still on, because he is back from his hiatus. I don't know how long he's back for, but he's always soft-spoken and thoughtful, and even if he's not co-working, if you like hearing someone talk intelligently about games, it's in the title. It's IntelliGame. So let me make sure he's still on. Valerie, why don't you tell us where to find you and all your awesomeness?
Oh, me? Well, you can find me at valerievaldes.com. That is Valdes with an S, not a Z. And that's I'm on Blue Sky, also Valerie Valdes there, as well as various other places. I'm usually either just Valerie Valdes or Valerie Valdes author on various forms of social media. Definitely Blue Sky is where I'm most active. Second to Discord, frankly, which is where you're most likely to see me pop up in some random location with opinions about writing. I'm also, I stream Monday through Thursday. Technically, I stream Monday through Wednesday. My husband streams Thursday and Saturday. The kids are asleep, which is when we started streaming years ago. But as our kids get older, their bedtimes have snuck up on us. And so now usually one kid at least is definitely awake when stream starts. It's a misnomer.
It's pretty easy to actually make your, change your username, it seems.
Kids are not asleep. The kids might be asleep. I don't know. I feel like changing the link is going to be a problem. So we just got to go
ignoring the kids, neglecting the kids.
The kids are neglected. I feel like that's just asking for social services to show up at our house, though.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Well, you can find me at mightymur@gmail.com and murverse.com and twitch.tv/mightymur, and support the Patreon at patreon.com/mightymur. And yeah, I'm going to be back next week. I'm trying real hard to get back on a stream schedule. I think my mood might be moving upwards from my recent depressive dip, so hooray for that. And that will require me to, or empower me to get more done. So Thank you guys for hanging out in chat. Thank you guys for listening later on. And you should be writing. Thank you for listening to I Should Be Writing, the longest running writing podcast in existence. This episode was made possible by the Fabulous, who support the podcast via Patreon or Substack. Join the Fabulous at patreon.com/mightymur or mightymur.substack.com. Theme music provided by John Anelio, art provided by Numbers Ninja, and podcast hosting provided by Libsyn. This episode is released under Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives 4.0 license. You can find all of my books and podcasts at murverse.com.
Doctor Who.